Welcome everyone to another episode on our channel. We're going back in time and kind of talking about what we learned about way back when, some major processes involved in terms of customizing 1/6 scale figures. But I also wanted to do this sort of thing again, another how-to video, because I'm revisiting the Justice League. And yesterday I showed you Batman, which was a repeat, but I showed you the art box and the accessories and so forth. I wanted to do a how-to in between Batman and Wonder Woman. Then I want to do another how-to between Wonder Woman and Superman and so forth with the newer figures I've been able to obtain, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg, just to keep mixing things up. So we'll pause for a second and let me organize my thoughts and figure out how to kind of start this how-to video. Give me a second. I think the best place to start are with the heads that were visible to you in the first shot. So a lot of what's going to take place is your selection of a body, but also your selection of a head sculpt. And your body choice will very much depend upon your head sculpt choice. So this is just someone I thought had a cool head sculpt. He does not have a neck. This is Carrie Elwes, who played in The Princess Bride. He does not have a neck either. He's actually just on a corkscrew. Okay. Viggo Mortensen has a neck. Aaron Eckhart does have a neck with an attachment that goes to the body. Iron Man, or Robert Downey Jr., has a neck. This guy, I put a mustache on him, but he really, really, really has a neck. I mean, this is a very long neck, way too long from my perspective. You'd have to hide it with clothing or cut it down. This is Liam Neeson with a neck. We have Henry Cavill without a neck. John Travolta with a neck. Brad Pitt without a neck. And you can get heads now, this is no one specific, but that are very expression filled. You know, this guy is screaming at the top of his lungs. He has a neck and an attachment that would go on the body. So we'll pause and get some bodies ready so we can re-examine those and advantages and disadvantages of using each one. We are back, and part of customization is kind of trying to figure out exactly what look you're going for. This is the high-end body. This is a Phicen Limited body, or TBLeague. It is seamless. So it's in the internal system, it's stainless steel, which is jointed, and externally it's made out of non-toxic silicone. So you get a lot of maneuverability with this figure. A lot of different poses are achievable. Lots of range of motion, legs, on, and twisting motions and so forth. So if you really want to, and it can stand on its own if you get the weight distribution just right. Here he goes. So if you really want to show off the muscular parts of the body and you don't want to see ugly joints, this is the way to go. But you're going to be limited in terms of what heads you can use. You basically have to use necklace heads. So a head like this would work. Put it on right. There we go. And obviously you can move the neck too. So there we go. It's better. So necklace heads are your only choice here. The ones with necks are going to compete with the neck that already exists. So this is the most expensive one. And it comes in a range of body proportions. So you can even get more muscular than this. You can get a narrower body as well. So lots of choices. And skin tone. You know, mine is suntan, but you can get a paler tone if you want. If you want something in between, a little less costly, with some, you know, muscles that and joints that look a little bit better, this is the body to use. You're going to have the same problem with the types of sculpts that you can use. You can basically, out of this set, only use four of these heads like you would with Phicen Limited. This one without a neck. This one has no neck. This one has no neck, and that one. So only 4 of these heads would work. But the joints are definitely more visible in the legs, not so much in the arms, but the maneuverability is very hard at times. I've been messing with this arm a bit, so it's gotten looser, but normally it takes a little work to move these things around, and you get these funny noises coming out of it. But if you wanted to have like a low-cut shirt, you know, the person buttoned it up to here and left the rest kind of a little open, that would work. Or if you just wanted the midriff to show, you'd get some muscle tone, very visible here. And with the arms, you could probably get away with short sleeves and that sort of thing. As long as you didn't bend the arms in weird ways where you get this pointy thing showing. You'd have to turn it so it's not as visible. But this could work with the right type of head, no neck, and you know, it could work with a little less clothing, but certainly when you get down in this area, you can't, you know, shorts wouldn't work, obviously. And then you have this body, which I call the universal body. This is kind of, I should say this is called MX02-A. So it's suntan. A is suntan and B is more pale. The joints are very visible all over the place. But the neat thing about this body, it is very maneuverable. It bends easily, poses, articulation is great. But this is the best thing. This neck can be removed and another neck piece put in. So this will work with the heads that have no neck. But if you pull this piece out and put this piece in, pull this piece out, put this piece in, then this will work with the heads with necks. You just have to use enough hot water to get that to stick on there. So that's kind of your range of choices. I like this one probably the most, not because it's easier on the pocket, but you can use it with more options unless you want to not have the joints visible. So we did a red night some time ago. Let's pull them out. And this was Jake Gyllenhaal. Make sure I have him standing the way I want him to stand. There we go. And he came out very, very well. Yeah. So we actually made him on another episode. Let me straighten him out a little bit more. There we go. And like I said, he came out very well. The head sculpt is wonderful. But that's another thing you have to think about too. If you wanted to use the helmet, this is not going to work because the hair is going to get in the way. And the majority of heads I have here, the hair is going to get in the way with this particular figure. It's only going to work on this head. I can tell you right now because I've tested them all. On this head, this helmet will work. On this head, if you're careful, it will work. You don't. I made that mustache, so I don't want to break it. But it will work if I'm careful. It will work on this head, and it will work on this head. So if you're going to use a helmet, part of the time, you want to pick a head that actually works with the helmet. If you're going to use a helmet all of the time, pick a head that you don't care about, like maybe an old dragon head, because that is, any dragon head is going to fit on this with this helmet, you know. So why waste a good sculpt on something that you're never going to look at, you know? So my 2 cents worth is, if you're going to use something that goes over the face, pick a head that you're not going to care about. Yeah, it doesn't cost much, right? Lying around, maybe stain, that sort of thing. If the body is going to be fully clothed, especially under those circumstances, pick this body. That way you have more head choices to use. So in this particular case, I'm going to choose this body because I haven't figured out which head yet to use. So we'll pause and then we'll get some clothes ready and try to get him dressed like this guy. And then we'll try him with different heads and see which one you like the best. So we're going to do another red night. And I've already figured out I'm going to use this body because I want more head choices. But I'm not going to dress him in the same night clothes and show you every head. I'm just going to pick like 4 heads I'm interested in seeing. So I'm very interested in seeing this head. So that's my first choice. I'll move him a little forward, I guess. I want to try him with Aaron. So I'll move him forward a little bit. And Robert Downey Jr. And I do want to try him with Neeson. So those are my 4 choices. So one is without a neck, and the other 3 do have necks. So we'll pause, get all the other heads out of the way, keep these 4, and start dressing this guy. And then see how each head looks on this guy. So we're back and we're going to get him dressed close to what this guy is dressed like. The only difference is that the chainmail here for the skirt and the hood is one piece. Here it's 2 separate pieces with the shirt and the hood. That's the only difference though. But we'll start with the boots. So I like to point the feet down, and then I like to turn the toes up. But first, let's put the feet straight, pointed down. Get that boot in there almost all the way. Then turn the toes up so that I can then get it better into the boot. And then flatten the toes back up. So that when I feel it, yeah, now it's in there good. All right. So one boot is on there very good. Need to get the other one. This is, make sure it's pointed down, straight down. Do not bend the toes yet. Make sure that goes in there first. And then when you're close to the foot of the boot, turn the toes up so it kind of gets on there a bit better. And then when you think it's on there, straighten the toes back out. And yeah, feels like it's on there now pretty good. Okay, so let's stand him up and see how he looks. He's looking good. Okay. So now the next thing, and just be careful how you put the arms up, because if you turn them in the wrong way, when you bring it back down, it may be on, you may have to really mess with it to get it to line back up the way you want it to line back up. If you turn it more than 360 degrees. So you just want to go 90 degrees up. And the way you came up, come back down the same way. All right. So I'm going to have his hands in a little bit. Let me turn that part. And have his hands a little in. There you go. There we go. And I think he will even stand for me. Let's see. We'll see if I get the weight distributed correctly. We'll see how long that lasts. All right. Make sure you have the front facing forward. And you could, the ends of the sleeves are long enough for the hand to go through. But a lot of times they aren't. And in those situations, you just want to take the hand off. So there it is with the wrists. These things are easy to get out. Make sure you don't lose the position of the arms. Okay. So his hands are off. And let's see if I can get him to stand again. We'll see how long that lasts again. Let's put his arms better together. Good. And let's see if we can do this easily. That's the key, easily. Once you get to the arm, start pushing the arm out. And same on this side. And make sure the neck goes through the right opening. There we go. Ah, good. All right, now, since I brought the arms up this way, I'm just going to bring them back down this way. And he is good to go. Sometimes you will just have to play around with it to make sure that the arm does not lock up. Ah, there we go. I had to turn him. Somehow he got turned around. All right. But he's okay now. All right. Now, yeah, he's not fully clothed. In an ideal world, we'd put pants on him too. But we're going to go cheap like we did with him. And you can't tell. He doesn't have pants on. All right. So the next thing, I guess I should have kept his arms up. The next thing we want to put on is the red robe. So up we go again. Up we go again. Kind of inward. Let's see if we can get the weight again. I'm surprised he's standing so easily. But that is nice. All right. So here we go. Since he has no hands, it's a breeze, really. Make sure you put the arms through the sleeves. And make sure that the neck goes through the right opening too. Sometimes I just kind of jiggle it. I was scared there I had it on backwards. There you go. Put it down and putting it down. There you go. So far, I would say so good. All right. And, all right. Straighten them out. Okay. At this point, we could put his arm pads on. Now, these have little straps that you can unloop, separate, then reattach. Personally, I'm way too lazy for that, so I just kind of put it around the arm, try to get the sleeve in it. If this works, I will be a happy camper. Make sure I get it tight enough around. And then once I get it on over the chainmail, oh, it came apart, which means I should just go ahead and go up and strap it in. Okay, that's okay. Usually I just jiggle it up until I get it in. That wasn't too hard to strap in, so just turn the sleeve so it doesn't get wadded up, and there we go. It's on there. This one we'll see if we can get on there nicely. So let me fold this tight, as tight as I can, and maybe I won't have to, or it won't accidentally unstrap. There we go. Losing my heads. There we go. Yep, that one went on very nicely. Just making sure that the chainmail isn't wadded up. It is a little wadded up now. All right. Okay. Move that more to the front. Stand them up straight. Fix them up a bit. Okay. And there he is. This one could go up probably a touch more. There we go. All right. And yeah, I think it works. A little forward. There we go. All right. Now, at this point, we can put his hands back in. They go in easy. That's what I love about these bodies. There we go. He's looking pretty good. All right. So now the other big thing is the sword. All right. And I don't want to put the hood on quite yet because I want to do this simultaneously with the head. Yeah, so let's do the sword. Oh, I forgot to tell you where I got these things. Not the heads, but the chainmail, the robe, the pads on the shoulders, the sword, the sheath, the robe, the shield, and the helmet I got from MonkeyDepot. I know it's a weird name, but they have some good stuff. Good prices too. MonkeyDepot. All right, so we need to take this apart. Put the sword back in. And basically, you know, this might be problematic though. as I'm changing heads out. So I'm gonna wait on that too. So let me pause and get some hot water because I don't want to struggle when I put this head onto that neck. So let me pause, get some hot water, and we'll pick up from there. So I put this head on top of the neck, but I already see a potential problem. It's loose. It isn't really into the opening here. If I literally push that down to get it into the opening so it's snug together, he's not going to have a neck. So my alternative is to take this piece out that's already in here, put this piece on this, and then just settle the head on top of it. It'll stay put then. So what I do is I put in very hot water, and you maybe can't see it, but it's in a bowl here in very hot water, and that will hopefully loosen things up a bit as I pull it out. And I'll show you what piece I'm talking about in a second. Let me dry him off a little bit. And let me see if I can get this piece out. There we go. So it's basically, it's a little wet. Sorry about that. It's basically this piece with a hole there, see? So what I want to do is I want to get that piece on the ball here. So I'm going to get this hot. Okay. And if you get it hot enough, it really is a breeze to get on. Take them off. If I can get them apart. He's caught on the boot. Or not, yeah, the boot. So, yeah, there you go. Sorry I had to pull them out of view, but I got more traction that way. You see how I got it on here? It's on here now. Really nicely. So let me put him back on the stand. Okay. Straighten out his neck. And now, when I put his head on there, it's going to be a nice snug fit. Oh my gosh, she looks great. If I can just get his, there we go. I almost don't want to go on. I just like this head. I don't think I'm going to like the other ones any better, but just to be fair, I'll take them more apart. And so first his head comes off, then this connecting piece comes off. It shouldn't be too hard. There we go. Now the neck has to come off. And that's the part which is going to get some of his clothes wet unless it pulls off very nicely. We'll see. It did this time around. I didn't have to use hot water. Okay, good. Whew. That's a relief because I really did not want to get his clothes wet if I could help it. All right, so let me put him back on. That is definitely a relief. Okay. All right, so now. Let's see. You see? If you don't have an extension, he looks so bad. He's going to look a lot better with this extension in there. The key is, will the extension fit? And I don't know if you can see, but there's a round piece in here that usually has a cap on it, but actually it doesn't have a cap on it. So I think we're going to be okay. Yeah. So let me put this in hot water and let it lay a while. But you can see how you just have to kind of feel things out as you customize, and just, you know, just putting this head on alone is not going to do it by any stretch of the imagination. No pun intended. Ah, all right. All right. All right, let's see if I can get his neck adapter on. Oh God, that went on so easy. It's like, could it happen any easier than this? Let me put him on. Back on. Okay. Now, keeping in mind that this, whoever sold me this head included the attachment, but it's really loose. So if I was going to use this head, I would have to put something in there that would keep that head onto that attachment so I could move it around without it falling off. It's on really loose. Okay, so let me straighten them up on my end. Even so, his head or his neck looks a little touch long. Sorry, it's taking so long. It's getting every piece a little more balanced. All right, so it does look a little long. Things that you can do to adjust it is to kind of have them bend their head down. The other thing that sometimes I will do is take a little cotton and just kind of put a little padding underneath the shoulders. So I am actually literally bringing this shirt up just a touch. Not a whole bunch, but just enough so the neck looks a little more normal. I hope that makes sense. All right? So he doesn't look bad. He really, you know, with the little fluffing here, he doesn't look bad as a knight. But I'm still going with number A. This guy. He looks so much better. All right. All right. So let me take him off. I'm going to put him over to the side because I'm not going to use Aaron. I love Aaron, but I'm not going to use him. All right. So this is not going to fit. I already know it. The adapter is too big with this thing already in the head sculpt. So, number one, I'm going to have to either get it out or I'm going to have to take this neck adapter out and put this on the inner ball on the inside. And hopefully the neck is long enough. Let me kind of just do a quick size. It might work. We'll see. Number one, first we'll see if this comes out as easy as the other thing did. Thank God. Okay, so that did come off. And let's see if it will go on. Oh, it did. All right. So let me get them set up. And then you'll be the judge as to whether the neck looks good or bad. Get them straightened up. Arms looking halfway decent. I already know what I think. I think the neck looks too small. He looks like a munchkin. And that's not right. Robert Downey Jr., that is so wrong. Yeah. So this is where modifications have to be made. What I would do is I would look for another attachment. I'm not sure if I have one handy. So let's pause. Let me go look for one. All right. Hopefully I'll be back in just, well, for you it'll be just a second. For me it might be more than that. But no, doesn't work. Okay, we'll pause now. So the only way I can figure to do this is to use this particular piece. It's just a rounded piece that fits over this ball here on the neck. Let's get that warm, put that on here. I had to take out the piece that was in Tony Stark's head with hot water. It was actually glued in there or somehow connected, so I had to kind of break that seal and get that out. So this looks like this. So it's a smaller circumference and a larger circumference here, and it fits nicely into the indented space here, and it just goes in there nice and deep. So I took that piece out of the head, this piece right here out of the head, right? Now I'm taking this circular thing, this very circular thing, and I'm putting it on the ball here. Yeah, it goes on really nice when it's hot. Then I have this another attachment. It's basically almost the same size as that, but it's not indented. So I'm going to get that warm. Then I'm going to put that over the circle. Then I'm going to put the head on. It won't be a good fit. I already know that. This would have to be really drilled out a little bit for it to fit nicely over that piece there. This was made a certain way. It's a Hot Toys head. It was made a certain way. So you're going to have to modify it to get it to fit onto a different body. So this is probably hot enough. All right. And so I'm taking this piece and I'm putting it on the circle there. It goes on pretty nicely. So it's on there now. All right. And then if this was a nice fit, you would just then put this onto this piece here. Unfortunately, it is not a nice fit. I will warm up the neck and see if I can get it on there somewhat. But I already know it's not a nice fit just by looking at it. I'm able to get it on, but I know it won't stay. Ooh. No, it won't stay. Let me see if I can get it on just a touch better with a little more muscle. Making sure I don't get any clothing stuck into it. That will make it not fit. Okay. All right. I think I got it on kind of halfway decently. How long it'll last, who knows. The shirt is unfortunately caught underneath it. Let me try it again. That's a little bit better. I think the shirt isn't caught this time. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully I won't lose his head, like off with his head or anything like that. He seems to be staying on. I won't hold my breath though. We'll see. He's leaning over quite a bit and still hasn't lost his head. If I'm gentle, at least I can show you what he kind of would look like with a better neck. So, tons better. Oh, don't fall off. Please don't fall off. He fell off. But you can see what I'm saying, though. You do need to, take a little of this inner core, just a little of it off so that it fits better on here. And once on here, the neck will look halfway decent, actually, with the guy. And I don't think he would make a bad knight, actually. But he still liked the other guy better. All right. So that was fun. That would require much more modification than what would normally be needed. All right, let's see if we do better with Liam Neeson. That's not going to work. So let me pause and figure out so I'm not like trying 10 million different things in front of you. All right, so I'll pause. So he's on. It was a several stage process for him. Out of his head, I had to take this piece out. So that little tiny piece had to come out. Over the little ball in the neck, I had to put this piece on. This rounded encasement. And then on top of this, I had to put this piece on this. Get it on tightly. Then his head went on over this. So he works fine without any modifications. Tony Stark, you'd have to, he's a Hot Toys head, you'd have to take that thing out, which I put back in, and use the same setup, but you'll have to take a Dremel tool, grinder, and just, take a little bit out around the neck so it can fit better over this thing. It's way too tight the way it is now. So he would need some more modifications, and I don't really want to make more modifications on a Hot Toys head. So he stays as is. I put that thing back in, and he's going to stay as is. So he's out in terms of using him for the night, the Red Knight. He could work. He looks okay. I think he looks great. With darker hair, I think you can get ahead of him with darker hair and a darker beard. I'm sure you can, because I do have one that's darker. I think he would look even better than with the lighter brown hair. He worked, but his neck was a little too long, so I would raise the shoulders up a little bit with a little cotton underneath it to take away the pronounced neck. So bottom line is I wouldn't use Tony Stark for the night, even though he would look good on the night. I wouldn't use Eckhart. Not because I don't like him. I wouldn't use Liam Neeson, not because I don't like him. But I use this guy because he just looks cooler on the figure. And he has that, he would work really the best in terms of fitting the figure more nicely. So you would put this piece over that and put the head on over that, and your neck would not be smushed in like it was with Tony Stark without an attachment. So I hope that helps. I'll pause now and I'll put this guy this guy, all together on this night. And on this night. And you can see the final look. Here's the final product, everyone. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, have a great day. And please have fun customizing. It's really a kick.